Now, everybody has a different story when it comes to building a business. To some, it's never an easy task to partake. And to some, they have very good stories of how they started from scratch and built their empires to profitability. And that's the reason why Bizna Kenya and MC Moments have partnered to bring you Biz Talks. Biz Talks. And here we shall be hosting mentors, people who have gone ahead of us, people who have created these empires, people who have also on the verge of creating these particular big businesses. And these lessons will be valuable for you, the business person, for you, the aspiring business person, the entrepreneur, so that at least you can make wise decisions when it comes to building that business. So every Friday at 8 a.m. on all business platforms, that's the Facebook and YouTube channel, and of course MC Moments. All right, good morning and welcome to Biz Talks. I hope you're keeping well from wherever you are. It's quite cold and chilly here, but of course we keep moving on because business does not respect temperatures and seasons. Somebody was saying we're still in the Kenyan winter. I don't know whether that's what you're experiencing from wherever you are. Now, I just want to welcome you to our amazing conversation. Today we have a very interesting, what I call, I don't want to use the word strange, I would call unique businesses, because we're talking about matters immigration consulting. I know you're wondering what about immigration, all those kind of things, but our guest is right here. He came right on time for us to really understand and get to know what is this all about. How does it probably affect you? You never know. You could one day expand your business and you need to be going around this continent, around the world as well, because we all have dreams and aspirations. But first is to welcome you and tell you, if you're there, please tell a friend to tell a friend that Biz Talks is on and is live and kicking. And secondly is to welcome our guest in our usual way. Karibu sana, George.
Asante, thank you. Thank you, Maina.
It's good to see you.
My pleasure, all the time.
As usual, we have our very nice set courtesy of Melvin's Mash. And I know I told you to peep and make a selection. What did you choose? What are you going to have?
I love Melvin's masala tea.
Masala?
Yeah.
So you're an oldie, like me at some point.
Yeah, for sure,
so I'll ask you to pick one there.
Yeah.
You can start. Are you going to have it with water or milk?
Milk.
So choice, milk, eh?
Yeah.
So we do a mix, eh?
Yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Okay.
Chai.
Chai. Chai ya ukweli.
Melvin's.
You know, when I said we're going to have immigration consulting,
Yeah.
a friend told me,
Yeah.
can you first of all ask him about what happened to Ruto? Because Ruto did not go where he was supposed to go. Okay, for anyone who's watching, Ruto is the deputy president. But anyway, some news, he was denied some entries to some country. I don't know what happened. Was it political or was it immigration policies or what was it? I don't know. George will tell us. George, I don't know how. I know I shouldn't not start with questions, but
I think I posted in in my social media.
Some sugar? Oh, you okay?
One or two.
Oh, one or two.
I did say that the issue of the deputy president is above my pay grade, so I wasn't going to comment.
It's above your pay grade.
It's above my pay grade because I mean the Jubilee Secretary General once said the matter was above his pay grade.
Yes.
And my pay grade is lower than 2G, so I want to avoid, but I don't think it's immigration related. Okay. It's the shenanigans of politics.
Politics, right?
So we let them
let the politics be.
Yeah.
Let me first of all make my choice. I'm so getting used to the hibiscus because one, let me introduce you to it. Okay. You don't need sugar.
Oh, wow.
It has its own flavors and all that, and it's just beautiful as it is.
Wow.
It makes your cup look red.
Wow. I love sugar.
No, I'll give you some to go and try at home.
We have an agreement with sugar that they don't do immigration, and I don't attack sugar. I keep taking sugar.
You keep taking sugar.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. It's good to have you on the show. Just want to remind our viewers that we're talking about immigration consulting. George is the expert in that field. I've known George for quite some time, but we're going to understand what is this that he does. He was telling me that even his mother sometimes finds it hard to understand what he does. So George, once again, even as you have your tea, first of all, let's start with just you. Who is George? And, what is this immigration monster?
My name is George Mucee. People struggle with Mucee, but I keep saying he's Mucee, people call it, but in Swahili they ask unaitwa aje. It's not unajita aje. So whichever way you call me, I'm fine with it. I'm very many things to many people, but first I'm a father of four children.
Wow.
And a husband of one wife. And a business person, an ordinary guy that has a vision in life, and the things that the world can be better if everybody does their part. Yeah. So that's me in a nutshell. I think we will speak more about
that. Is it? So let me ask you. Definitely, now you're in the consulting business. Yeah. For me, I from where I sit, because as I said, but I want our viewers as well to understand you. Yeah. You transitioned, definitely. Yeah. So what was your journey? Could you just take us through your journey into understanding this whole thing of immigration to now where you are?
Yeah, thank you, Maina. As you did say, we are all this. We've been here for a while. Yeah. When I cleared my university, my first degree in 2002 from Moi University, I went to Mombasa. You know, those of us who come from the village, you only get to go to town if you knew somebody. And my brother was staying in Mombasa, so I took the trip from Eldoret to Mombasa. And I started what people are calling hustling nowadays, doing a few other things. And I remember the first time I encountered anything about immigration is somebody saying, "Oh, you know, there are jobs in Tanzania. You can get a passport and go." It was intriguing. So I'm like, "Oh, so where do we start?" Then that's when I learned there's something like immigration. But then around 2004, there was an advertisement for immigration officers too. And I remember people saying, "Why don't you just apply?"
Those are the guys in your house, or?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So people said, "Why don't you apply?" Yeah. And I applied because that time getting a job was difficult. But then, you know, when NAC came in, the Kibaki government, there was a shift in public service hiring. Yes. So I applied and went on with my life. But then I saw we were shortlisted, 10,000 of us for 200.
That's quite a number.
Yeah. But eventually I got the job as an immigration officer too. And that's when I got to know what immigration is all about. Lovely. So I worked with the Department of Immigration for several years in different stations. Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Then I went to the border with Kenya and Tanzania. Then I came to Wilson Airport, then Nyayo House. I stayed there for some time. Then I was posted on secondment to the UN mission in Liberia as part of the other immigration experts from across Africa to help rebuild the Liberia Immigration Service. And then we did that in 2012, 2013. Then I came back and my mind opened and I figured, well, I love public service, but the money is really not coming through. So I thought I could look for opportunities. So in 2014, I got an opportunity with an amazing American firm, Fragomen, where I was the head of... Fragomen. I was the head of their business in East Africa for 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah, but I went to law school, University of Nairobi, so I cleared my bachelor's of law. And then I have to go to Kenya School of Law. I'm at the Kenya School of Law at the moment so that I can be admitted. And it's very laborious. So I took the shift from employment to focus on Kenya School of Law, but also to start my own thing. So that is how the transitioning. But the business of immigration consulting was by chance. I didn't know what immigration is all about. I wanted to be a lawyer initially.
Which you're about to become.
Yes, yes. Apparently all the things I've wanted to become, I've become. And I'm lately starting to think I can become the president. So let's pray.
Hey, I'm so glad that I'm already hosting you.
However,
tell me when you get there.
On more serious matters, I think I wanted to be a lawyer, which that time because of the card point we didn't get. But I really wanted to be a literary critic because I used to listen to some gentlemen, Professor Igara Kabaji and Barack Muruka. I've never met them in person, but I used to listen to them in KBC. They used to host some programs, Books and Bookmen and something. And I became, because I was admitted to study BA in literature in Moi University, and I became the literary critic. Now I've gone back to do law, so I am on the verge of being an advocate. And now immigration is what is by chance. Yes.
Great. I think that's a very good journey, because I think at some point it's good to just tell our viewers we shared a class, but for you, I think you have not stopped learning. You keep going on. about where I am right now. We will converse later, but at least you're here. You can see the...
Yeah, I think for purposes of disclosure, Maina and I are geezers in this industry. We were in school together.
Absolutely.
And learned a lot of things together.
Great. So, first of all, just a shout out to our viewers. Thank you so much. Please let us know where you're watching us from. I just want to give a shout out to you. Antonio Biamchi, he's already been sending a question. I know he wants to go to Canada. I think you'll be advising people how this is done, maybe easy and all those kind of things. Because I see a lot of websites and people saying, oh, I don't know, this is the place to immigrate to and those kind of things. But we will have that conversation today. But especially for you, the business person, if you're looking at expanding, what do you do? So keep them coming if you have any questions that you have. So, an immigration consultant, can I ask you a question? What inspired you to now jump into that? Because of course you've given us a journey, but I want to believe, in fact I should ask the question, are you enjoying what you're doing?
I think I am.
Great.
In the last 17 years I've been working. And when you're working, when you're doing something and it's part of your life, you don't realize what is on the other side. But after I exited employment, I feel so free. Free in the sense that nobody is asking me about the bottom line. The bottom line is my bottom line. If today my bottom line is to sleep, I sleep. But what my thinking is around what inspired me into this is, I realized people kept coming to me. People that are very urbanite, but every time they have to do a basic thing like renew a passport, they have to call me, oh George, I need to renew my passport. I'm like, go ahead and renew. I'm like, they're like, but what do I need? So we have to go through that process. So I realize it's very basic, but then people don't get the information. Government institutions, because of the challenges they are financing and so forth, are not very good at providing, very clear information. And then there are foreigners that want to come here to invest, to do a lot of things. They have no information.
Where to start from.
And I remember at Desta again, Dr. Wandi Anjoya's class, and she invited the Bloggers Association of Kenya. And I got into blogging by chance, but I figured I can do my own blogging. So that's how Kenya Immigration News was born. And I kept writing just how to do the basic things, and there was a lot of interest and even business. So I realized people are looking for business, credible business, credible information. If you can avail that information, they are willing to pay for it.
Go for it.
So that, and then when I joined the Fragomen, you realize now these are serious fellows in terms of the business of immigration. They are in it for the big money. So I figured, what we've been doing for free as charity, as part of public service, is actually a big business.
So I'm going to ask you a basic question, which you've already touched on. I've heard you mention governments, how you're helping guys who want to set up business and all those kinds of things. But someone may still ask, someone who may have tuned in right now, so what is immigration consulting? In the simplest language that people can
understand. We are going to, let's add a little bit further to bring them closer home.
That's okay.
What is a state? What is a country? There are 4 parameters. Number 1, you need to have a defined geographical area. You know the map of Kenya? That's our geography.
That's a geography map.
You need to have a permanent population. Because as a country, you need to have your population.
Sorry, I can't let this slide away. I know this is a very serious conversation. But when the gold medal was taken to Uganda, somebody said, this is still Kenya. But go ahead anyway. So
the 2 parameters, the geography, the population, permanent population. And then the other one is you need to have a government. The state. The president is there and the government.
Definitely.
And you need to have the capacity, what they call sovereignty, to transact with other people as equal partners, what they call the equality of state. And our immigration comes in on the aspect of the geography and the population. You need to know, while the military will take care of the aggressors, is the immigration that allows people to come in, to go out, and even to reside. That's what immigration is. So immigration is an exercise of a country asserting its sovereignty, who is within our borders and who comes and goes. Now that process of facilitating people into and out of a country is what constitutes immigration. So what is immigration consulting? In fact, we have now defined immigration. What is consulting? basic English.
Yeah.
If I want something that I think, or information on a matter that, like communication or what you do, I come and say, Maina, tell me about this. I am consulting you. The process of asking for information. So immigration consulting is providing advisory and services to people that are in need of immigration related services.
Makes sense.
In very simplistic.
Fair enough. Absolutely. Yeah. Because let me just speak on my own experience. I think we had this time of the Huduma card.
Yes.
I hope people have them.
Yes.
I've not received mine yet. I applied. But now, that whole process, and you saw it at your house, people queuing, I don't know for how many days, people having to cancel their appointments wherever they were going.
Yeah.
Anytime you hear you have to go to your house, you have to go for some Melvin's tea, relax, and then just wake up some hours.
Yeah.
And it was let me use the word torture. It was torturous in a way. Yeah. So are you saying this, George, from my own basic understanding from what you've said, because you're helping people, that if for example right now I need some of those services, that I can come through your consulting firm and those things will be sorted?
I can, and I'll tell you the range of services that we do.
Yeah.
Immigration is actually like 80% clerical and like 20% substance in terms of the law and the policy and everything.
Yeah.
What troubles most of the people is the clerical, the tactical part of it. And I'm not saying clerical to diminish, to show that it's more about the documentation.
Yes.
The where and how to go. But yes, passport is one of them, but it's not a business passport is not really a big business.
It's not a big business.
Because what we do is providing very basic support, because we come from the point of view that passport is a document that every Kenyan should have. So the immigration department is streamlining that approach. Yeah. But there is a range of other services. Mostly is business consulting. Companies that want to set up here, or people that have complicated processes like citizenship and permanent residence and whatnot. Yeah. We also do policy, actual policy. There are agencies that want to do an immigration-related policy. There are government that would like to review their policy on immigration. Yeah. Those are the kind of things that we are looking into. But if you come to me, man, and say, "Oh, I need my passport," I will support you whichever way I can. Yeah. And by the way, for clarity, Kenya, there is no international passport or local passport. I keep telling people call me that I want international passport. Yeah. A passport is by its very nature for the purpose of traveling outside the country. There's no local passport. Yeah, I
think they mistake it with diplomatic ones. I don't know. Yeah. So let's talk about your scope, because now you've already said what you do at your firm. Let's talk about the scope, and in terms of, have you helped people to migrate to other countries, stuff like that? And if there was maybe a comment, how many countries have you had a touch and sent people there, just for the basic understanding?
I think the kind of again, the immigration consulting field is like a forest. Yeah. It has space for the elephants, and it has space for a rat and for everybody. Yeah. I think what I've been involved a lot in is the corporate business immigration. Companies. Yeah. Companies tell me, we hire expatriates who would like you to handle our processes and to advise us on compliance. But I have also come across a few cases of Kenyans that want to go to other countries. Yes. I do not, as a matter of fact, place people in other countries. That is done by a few other agencies. But I can, if someone wants to go to a country, I can, within my network and our networks, help them understand that process and link them up with a professional. Like say for Canada, because I get a lot of inquiries for Canada. Yeah. I have
somebody already asked that question.
I have, and there is a lot of fake news around Canada wanting 10,000 or what number of people. Yeah. You should always treat that with caution, because there are no countries that are inviting people to rush into their countries.
Very true.
But the kind of advice I give to people is, have you gotten a job or an opportunity for the country you want to go into? And then what you need to do is, then we can link you up with professionals, legal agents that are authorized to practice in Canada, because like Canadian immigration, you need to be authorized to practice Canadian immigration. Someone who can guide you through the process. Okay. But I do not pick people, say I want to go to this country, then take them and place them. I don't do that. I'm so much more into the policy and into the business, corporate immigration with companies to help their workforce.
Lovely. So this field is, I don't know whether to call it new or wide or what, but maybe how many immigration consultants do we have around?
Like I said, it's a forest. It has very many people. I'll tell you something. When I joined the immigration department in 2005, 16 years ago, we found people that were always around immigration offices trying to do 1, 2, 3 things for people, and we used to call them brokers. I have since realized those people are actually immigration consultants. Yes. And I have a lot of regards for them, because any Kenyan that is out here doing something that is legal to earn a shilling to cater for their family, for me, they need to be appreciated.
Absolutely.
So there's those people, and they're the majority. They don't have an office. They don't. They just wake up in the morning, go outside immigration offices to see somebody they can help. If you walk to Nyaya today, they're going to say, passport, you want this? Those are also consultants in their own right.
In their own right.
And there are the big companies, not like, the big companies that we've worked for before. They're in it for the big money because of the brand that they get, But there are other small ones that are also setting up offices and former immigration officers. So it's a field that is very broad, but very few actors. You can't even know, there is no record. It's free entry, free exit, no regulations, no nothing, which we will discuss later, the challenge. But we don't have the numbers, but there are quite a few of us that are doing this. It could be law firms, accounting firms, consultants like myself, individuals, those Kenyans that have been in Nyaya as long before I was born, trying to help. All these people.
They have been there.
And by the way, I insist, for me, I have a lot of regards for those people. And those are the people that are now speaking good English, not so good English, on TV and big office and suit, need to look up to them and find out what can we do together, what value can be added. Don't look down upon them. I really have a lot of regards for anybody that, without being caught in the shenanigans of politics, anyone who has a hustle they want to get into and earn a decent level.
And of course, here at BizTalks, we appreciate anybody, your hustle, everything we're talking about, because we always say SMEs are at our heart, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm just picking it randomly, and I want you, because now you're in the field. We see a lot of, from where I see, we see a lot of complaints. We have engineers, local engineers, who are complaining big time. Big contracts are going to foreigners. I mean, that is now tier 1. But even small things, and I've heard even sometimes the CS Interior Matiang'i mention it. Now, there's a time he was so vocal saying we can't have, a landscaper coming from I don't know where. Small jobs that really can be taken up locally. So we have had that scenario 1. Scenario 2 is in other countries, for example. In fact, it's a practical thing. Go try setting up a business in one of our East African countries. I don't want to mention. There's one that is too difficult. I think they see us taking all the money. So my question to you is this, George. Is it that, what is our landscape in terms of our laws? Is it now that you're even a lawyer, is it that our laws are too easy and flexible and all that? The other day I saw the president go and tell, I think it's Congolese and all, you're free to come to Kenya and do business. But the vice versa is not yet jumping in. What is it? Is it that, what are we? Where are we?
No, I think the Kenyan laws are very good, very decent, very, very modern. We need to debunk this myth that there are so many foreigners in Kenya. It's not true. It is not true. When a few years back, the Minister of Interior conducted an exercise to see who is in the country, there was probably people on regular permit that have been issued by the government of Kenya, give and take maximum 100,000. What is the percentage of 50 million? It's negligible.
Negligible, definitely.
On the reverse, go to Dubai, go to China, go to London, go to New York, go to wherever. You find very many Kenyans. I find Kenyans hustling in those streets, and I'm like, man, you're doing good.
I mean, Kenyans are even in Haiti. But
let us not be too narrow in our thinking. I appreciate, and I don't believe that where there's a job that a Kenyan can do, it should be denied the Kenyan and given to a foreigner. Right? So we need to be careful on that. But the people that is the problem that we complain a lot about are actually the people that are in Kenya illegally. They're here, they just slither into our borders and do whatever they want to do.
Okay.
But I don't think in terms of the ratio, Kenya is not, we don't have so many expatriates working here.
Yeah.
Secondly, if you look at countries like Dubai, they are up to 80% expatriates. Are they weaker? Look at the US.
Yeah.
You know the percentage of foreigners, you know, in the US, it's about 40 million. It's like a whole country.
Whoa.
Yeah? Any strong country.
Yes.
And I think there's a Swahili singer that said that mtu wenye uko na mawe ndio uko na matunda ndio unapurwa mawe. People go to a place that is better for them. Yeah. So we should be proud that Kenya, people are coming to Kenya as expatriate. But all the same, there has to be a balance. Yeah. We don't want to see people doing, you know, some kind of business and denying Kenyans those opportunities. It's a delicate balance. And again, people ask the reciprocity. Yeah. And the president is always right because he's going to invite people to come to Kenya. You know why? Because the president is forward thinking. He's looking at, if you're coming to invest in Kenya, you're setting up an industry. You can bring 10 expatriates, but you're employing 1,000 Kenyans. Oh, yeah, you're right. Paying taxes in Kenya. Okay. You're doing all those. In fact, I am for the view, let's make Kenya a country for nomads. People that can come, we give them a visa, stay in Kenya for a year. Stay in Kempinski, stay in an apartment, do your work remotely, whatever you want to do, but you are paying our taxes, you're going out with our people, you are taking our food, you're taking our cabs. You bring money to the economy. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. We need to be very creative with our immigration, but let us be strict. If you're in Kenya, we know you're here, and what are you coming to do? Yeah. The problem is the enforcement, the weakness in enforcement, because the Department of Immigration, and they really work hard. You know, there are many challenges, and they face the resourcing and so forth, and interferences, but they try. They are very small in number. Yeah. If you compare that with, say, Tanzania, immigration is a force. You would find probably up to 10,000 officers. So you'll find them in every city, in every town. Whoa. They know you're here. In Kenya, immigration is elitist. You know, there are not more than 2,000 officers. And if they are, not more than 3,000. And they sit,
people get harassed.
And they sit in offices. In Nyayo House, the greatest number would be at Jomo Kenyatta, maybe 100 and something. Yeah. Then Nyayo House and all the region office, there's no one at the border. No one is watching our borders, our towns. Like I would imagine now we need to have an immigration office in every county. You're right. Yeah. It's not devolved function, but we need to have immigration office in every county. Absolutely. Yeah. Because we need to enforce. We don't have an issue. Come, but tell us who you are, what you are doing, what is your details, where are you staying? Yeah. Yeah. And be a lawful citizen. Yeah.
Wow. Certainly a lot to be done. It can also create jobs, you know, because there will be more people. Yeah. Thanks, Baliti Mucee, Josiah Mucee. I'm following for consultancy. Absolutely.
That's my boss. Yeah, Josiah Mucee was my boss.
It's good to know. Josiah, thanks a lot for checking us up. And if you're watching us, I can see so many of you watching. Please let us know where you're watching us from. And if you have any question about consulting, immigration consulting, yes, feel free to throw it in. But can I ask this sentence? But do you think our laws are a bit more linear? Because honestly, you've just mentioned Tanzania. Man, the thought of going there to start a business, I hear. First of all, you know, God rest his soul in peace, Magufuli. He has denied Kenyans being appointed by even international companies there. That we know. It's in the books at his time. I don't know. Is it that they are more stringent? So that's why my basic question was: are we more? Yes, you said it's a president thinking. I mean, forward thinking. But also, is it that we are more flexible than our East African neighbors?
Yes, we are, because we're the leaders. Leaders lead. Leaders don't follow. Leaders, you don't benchmark with the people that you consider that they are below you. Yeah. You look ahead. Let's compare ourselves with Dubai.
Absolutely.
Yeah? 80%, the GCC countries, you know, the countries in that, how many Kenyans are there? The economy is run by expatriates. They know what matters to them.
Yeah.
And they are not bothered by the number of expatriates.
Yeah.
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 Again, it's just an enforcement. Kenya is open for business. We should remain open for business because we are the leaders.
Okay.
We need to allow people to come.
Yeah.
And I need to clarify something.
Please.
Immigration law, now speaking as a lawyer,
yeah,
is you'll find within the international law, immigration law is left to citizens,
yes,
to the countries to decide their own, the right of admission.
Yes.
We can tell, Americans, even the American president can arrive at JKI and an immigration officer can say, Mr. President, you're not entering Kenya. He won't do nothing. You
Wow.
get it?
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So immigration, every country has to decide how they want to do the immigration.
Yeah.
So if Tanzania decides we want to be strict on our immigration for whatever end,
okay,
they can do that. But I think Kenyan law is the most recent.
Okay.
Flexible,
definitely,
but strategic.
New constitution and all that.
But when the president says Africans can travel,
yeah,
he's being strategic. I don't fault the president. In fact, I fault them.
Yeah.
Now maybe the foreign policy team, foreign affairs, not being able to negotiate reciprocity.
Okay.
But in terms of locking Kenya, we shouldn't.
Yeah.
Let people come.
Okay.
But useful people. We don't want criminals.
All right. That's not it. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, including those guys who we've had go to some of the Asian countries, and we have bad stories coming back. I want to know about their lows there. I don't know. You would help us, but I just want to give a shout out before we also get into the challenges that you faced in your business. Yeah. Karika boy, thanks a lot for watching. My brother Israel Robert Burale is watching. Burale, I know you want to go to Burale. Is not a country. But anyway, Nathan Teto watching from Kitengela, asante sana. Yeah, so keep watching and send in your comments or questions that you may have. So let's talk about, because I know let's leave the challenges first. We talk about this situation I see. Yeah. Because I want to believe immigration, foreign affairs, there's a connection somewhere there. Yeah. And we have seen, this, especially house managers who go to those homes. Yeah. And then we have seen a lot of, I don't want to call them bogus because some people say they are somewhat genuine, who are they agencies? I would call them agencies, who help, take these house managers to those countries and all those kind of things. Yeah. But the process of them coming back, if they don't like what they're doing, in fact, somebody quoted them to slavery. There's a lot of conversation going around. We've seen some come back in coffins and all those kind of things. I know this is a loaded question, but I know, George, because you're in immigration, I don't know how they have helped any of them because of it, but what do you have to say about it?
I mean, it's a mix. It's a crazy mix. Number one, any Kenyan is free to go anywhere to look for opportunities. Yeah. If someone comes and tells you, I'm going to Dubai to look for work, house help, as an immigration officer, you have no right to stop them. It's their right to travel. It's their constitutional right, freedom of movement in and outside the country. Very true. Number one. Number two, there is an issue of unemployment in the country. Yeah. So you can't tell somebody who is sitting in the village in Tharaka and get to know that there is an opportunity in Dubai where they can make, an income, not to go. Thirdly, is the issue you raise, the issue of people being duped into these opportunities. You're told this is what you're going to do when you go to Qatar. Yeah. In fact, some are told you're going to Dubai, but when they get in the plane, they're going to Bahrain or some other country. Yeah,
some of them don't even know where they're going.
They don't know where they're going. Yeah. And then the enforcement, and I think now the ministry is coming up with guidelines on the recruitment agencies and the streamlining, so that you have all the information you need. Yeah. And then the issue of the Kenyan government and the host government having a memorandum on enforcement and the right, because if you look at the things that people complain about, is violation of basic rights, human rights. It's not about who the person and where they are. Very true. But there is something also people need to know. You need to understand immigration laws of the countries you're going into. Okay. Some of those laws is, if you are coming in under the sponsorship of your employer, then you are bound for 2 years to remain with that employer. Wow. And you cannot change an employer while you are in country.
So that's what happens. That's why you hear.
That's what happens. You can't leave because you can only leave going back to your country. Yes. And these people, they have some arrangement with these agencies that keep these people in bondage, which should be examined, because that should not be happening. I should be free to get employed and free to exit employment as and when I wish. And then, of course, the burden is also on these countries to enforce the law, to make sure that people's rights are respected. When you're in Kenya, it doesn't matter how you came here, even if you're a refugee. The onus on the protection of your rights is on the government of Kenya, is the host country. And then again, a lot of these people, when they go into those countries, they disappear. They don't register with the embassies. So even the embassies, the consulate in these countries do not know where you are. You raise a distress call, they have no understanding where you are. And again, I also want to say this, and I know it's very controversial. Countries are not at the same level in terms of respect for human rights. You will not hear this kind of complaints from Europe or from the Americans. You're likely to hear them from African countries, some Asian countries, because and let's face it, if you're hiring somebody to help you with the house management, is an important person.
Very important.
Treat them as part of your household. You wouldn't be hearing these stories. But something also, some of these people also go there, and they're also problematic. So we need to look at the completeness.
So I have a question though, because I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. I mean, it's a complete whole sphere that we need to look at. But of course, the underlying thing, as you've said, these are human beings, and they need to be treated as human beings. But those rogue, we have some rogue, those agencies. Let me use the word agencies, you know? You can trace them, immediately take their people, you can't trace them. You know, you'll hear this in the news. People, we tried calling these agents, their numbers even no longer in use. What's happening? Is it that the government has not cracked down on them? What needs to happen?
I think it's again a mix of several things. Poor regulatory framework. Of course, the usual suspect, corruption. And you will be surprised, this is a business for the big shot as well. You know,
some hands are there.
You know, moving people across, whether it's human trafficking, whether it's whatever it is, it's all about big business.
You're right.
But the tragedy of it, it's about human life and human rights.
In fact, what you've said is true, because now, because of the saga that just happened, for a flight to just get out of this airspace, there's some serious clearance that happens. And so for it to happen, there's some big hand somewhere, and then we're here complaining, oh goodness, if you're there and you're watching, may the Lord see you. Anyway, so let's just jump into, you know, some other things about, you know, the challenges, because now you're in business. And definitely you have had your experience of just from starting and, you know, how it's going. I don't know what challenges you faced, but, you know, just something just hit me though. There's a statement yesterday, I think it was the day before yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Uganda released after the saga that we had of our deputy president.
Was there a saga? Was there a saga?
I don't even know. Okay, whatever story that was. And in one of the statements I read, that, you know, Kenyans are free to move here, do whatever they want to do because of our agreement with the
East African community.
Now that you're the consultant here on immigration, I think there could be very many business people who would be asking, oh, does that mean I can just get on a bus or take a flight, go to Uganda and set up my business there? As long as I pay the small permits, just like we do here in this country. I don't know. Maybe mention on that, then we jump into challenges.
No, within the East African community, there's that aspect of the right of freedom of movement and the right of establishment, where people can move across. But it's not streamlined. Even here in Kenya, if you're Ugandan, when you come in, we require you to show yourself to an immigration officer with an ID or whatever document, so that you are captured in the system. Like if you get a job in, you know, in Kenya and you're Ugandan, you have to apply for the permit. However, it is free of charge. So even in those countries, some of them have not abolished fees. You still have to meet the requirement of immigration. It's good order, because you can't just be exiting. Even in your own house, people need to knock.
Who is coming?
Who is coming, who is here, and also there's time for them to leave. They can't be, you know, and they can't get into your bedroom.
I agree.
So that doesn't mean, you know, if you go into a country, you're not going to immigration, you will be arrested. They might escort you to the border. They may not charge you because there are agreement is, even if you find an East African member who the only crime is the immigration status has expired, you're supposed to facilitate them to regularize, or you allow them to go back home. Don't take them to court. It's not in good spirit.
Yeah.
But some of the countries are very easy to set up businesses, like Rwanda. 6 hours, you have a company, you have everything you need. It's an example of, even we in Kenya are not there yet. But our problem is larger than that.
Thanks, George. We'll not dive into that for now. But oh goodness, Lord, what you've said is true. The cost of starting a business here and the process is another story we need to have. I posed a question some time back. We were having an SME boot camp, and I posed a question. We had KIBS, we had Carry in the house, we had competition authority and all that. And I told them, all of you guys, you need licenses, right? So can we just decide on this? Assume I'm starting a business now. I want to sell my OG. Can you tell me what money you need, and all that? And at the end of it, we're trying to do the computation. Goodness, it's something else. But that's a conversation for another day. Let's get into the challenges. Immigration, and then COVID hit, by the way. You must have suffered big time. I'm already preempting some of this thing. I don't know, people are not moving. Everybody was locked up in the house. I don't know whether we have recovered. Are you even making money? But you're here. But how is it?
No, I think there are many challenges. Of course, COVID was a challenge to everybody. So it's generic. So it's not unique to immigration field. But you can imagine when, for once, the world ground to a halt. We locked down the world. The planes were grounded. No one was traveling. So immigration was like, you shut down and go home. You will come back. And only with a few guys calling you because my visa has expired. I don't know what to do. They are stuck here and all that. But the number one challenge is also an opportunity. The immigration field is not regulated, like I did say. Anybody can enter, anybody can leave. What that means is there are no standards. There is no code of ethics. So people do all manner of things, and of course you get a bad name. And the pricing and all those kind of things. People promise people something. They go con them and do document. By the time people come to you, they're already so messed up. That's number one. And then number two is people do not understand what immigration consulting is. People would walk to me and say, oh, I need this, and I listen to it and it's complicated, and I say, I'm going to charge you this. They're like, oh, but too expensive. I have somebody who can do it cheaply. But I have learned that you can't compete on pricing.
Definitely.
You don't compete on pricing, you compete on the value you're giving to people.
You're right.
And you have a good brand, people know you. Immigration is personal, just like a doctor. Like you go to a lawyer as well. It's very personal. People come about citizenship. People come with challenges about they want to set up business. You get to help them. Those are some of the challenges. And then again, now what's happening is we are starting to see huge companies, global companies coming with a huge muscle and setting up here, which is good because they create jobs. For the last 7 years, I was a part of that.
Well, it's still a challenge though, I know.
And you learn. So there's competition, but I will tell you, if out of 100, the only people that access immigration services through consultant are probably less than 30%. The field is very big. And then the other challenge which I see as a big opportunity for me, and I'll speak to it in terms of the future, is there is no school, no university, not including the law schools, that are training on citizenship and immigration law. So people, it's either you worked with immigration so you know about it, or you worked with somebody who worked with immigration who trains you, or you just jump into the market and think you can do something. So the skills are lacking. You find so many people out here calling themselves consultant, and they are very flamboyant, but they are very shallow in terms of their content and their capacity to deliver. I was chatting with one of my bosses, former bosses at immigration, one of my mentors, and he was saying, we are very happy to see you guys now that are former immigration officers coming into the field to provide substance, because now we know you're giving very solid advice based on your experience and practice.
Very true.
Over the years, those are some of the things. But it also gives me an opportunity, because what I've learned and learned from my teachers, like one of them is Professor Kamere Mbote, that paths are made by walking. If you're somebody that want to always ride on a tarmac road, you are following people.
You're following people.
Yeah, but if you want to create a path, you have to walk into the forest. You walk and then again, a quote associated with Peter Drucker and Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
That you can predict your future. Wow. The only way is to create it. You have to create your future. If you want to predict your future, you really have to create it. That's the surest way. Yeah. But you sit there and expect a miracle will fall. It won't. Create your future. Right. And for me, the future of immigration is in our younger people, young associate, people coming from law school and people that want to practice.
Yes.
And I am into mentorship.
Wow.
Yes, to make sure that we are not a story of a tree. I don't know what to pronounce, but I used to say baobab.
Yes.
But my daughter says it's baobab.
You're not far from the truth. Go ahead.
My daughter says it's baobab.
Yes.
But in my mother tongue, it's called muramba. It's very. It could go even into this room. Wow. It could 20 people around it. Wow. It grows in the desert.
Yes.
In dry places. It's very, very indefatigable, but over time, because it's standing alone, the element, the weather, the wind, everything, eventually falls.
Wow.
Now compare that with, very slender trees in a forest, rainforest, standing very tall but for ages, because there are very many, you can't break them.
Very true.
So if you want, a good immigration practice, let us grow people.
Yes.
Let us not try to shrink and to stop people from, people call me all the time, young people, we would like to learn. I'm like, please come.
Okay.
But I realize there is only so much I can do alone.
Okay. Lovely. Now, before we get into the questions, I want you to comment on marriage. Why? Because I know I have heard you speak about it sometimes in your videos. There are people who decide, I'm going to be a citizen immediately, and they just get somebody, and then they get married, and boom, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just want you to throw in a comment. I don't even know how to phrase the question. But please go ahead. Sure.
I think there are a few things people need to understand.
Yeah.
Because people are trying to look for residency and citizenship in Kenya through marriage and other ways.
Yeah.
You can become a Kenyan in several ways, but broadly it's two ways.
Yeah.
You are born a Kenyan.
Yeah.
Definitely. Or you can register as a Kenyan. But now under registration, there are several categories. You can be in Kenya on a permit for at least 7 years.
Yeah.
You would qualify to apply. Qualifying and getting are two different things.
Okay.
Because the right of admission is unto the government of Kenya.
Yes.
On marriage, you can, if you have been married to a Kenyan for at least 7 years.
Oh, at least 7 years, eh?
Not for the purposes of getting Kenyan citizenship, because you have to swear even affidavit to that effect.
Wow.
After 7 years, when you strike 7 years, and you remain married to that one Kenyan,
yes,
you can apply to become Kenyan citizen through marriage.
Oh.
But if you marry Nyambura, divorce Nyambura at year 3,
yes,
then you go to Kamene in Tharaka,
yes,
in year 4, you have to go back. Yeah, so
the cycle again.
You can't just marry a Kenyan,
okay,
and become. But there's also an issue. You allow me to comment. There's an issue that I think is closer to discrimination.
Yeah.
There are people that are married to us, shemeji zetu, because in African culture, when you marry into a home, even if we used to fight, you become family.
Yeah, that's true.
So these are the people that I have a feeling for, because when you get married to a Kenyan, you don't get the right to work in Kenya immediately. Yeah, you still have to get a work permit.
That's true.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people who are still looking for a work permit. They have been denied for long.
Yeah, so I think that's an area that we need to reconsider and introduce a category of a visa, because Kenyans getting married into other countries, they almost immediately get a spousal visa that allows them to work. Yeah. Imagine we have a Kenyan who has married to a foreign doctor. So the person sits in the house because you don't want to give them a permit, and they think paying for 200,000 every year for a permit is too expensive. Somebody who could be helping us treat people. Yeah. But because of that immigration misnomer, it's the law, but we need to change it. I think we need to change the law. Yeah. Because the right to family is a constitutional right. Absolutely. And you are free to marry from wherever. Okay. And you can reside wherever. Okay. So we need to think about that. Okay. Mashemeji zetu, we need to reconsider.
Finally, comment on the green card.
The US.
Somebody said this green card thing, the year it's back. So
I I think the green card, the US green card system, which used to be a lottery system, I think it was the US government system where they wanted to tap into some talent from around the globe, to build the economy. So once you're on a green card, you can find your way into the US. The green card is the right of residency and work. But when you're there, you have to look for a job. No one will give you a job because you've landed in the US. So I think it's there. It has never, it has never bothered me so much because I have never been interested. But I know Kenyans are very interested. All people, a lot of the people, let me not say all people because I am not there. People want to go to the US. But I always want to go to the US on my terms, to visit, to study.
Very true.
But everybody is free, but I think that is there. It's not easy now, especially with the new immigration reforms. But it's still an opportunity for Kenyans that want to go to the US.
Okay. Okay, lovely. So just one more thing here. Let's get to the questions. I'm jumping in already. First of all, Andrian, thanks a lot. That's my buddy. He's watching. And talking about, is this an opportunity about, he's talking about student visa and marketing our country as an education hub to foreigners. What's your comment on that? I think he just threw in that.
Yes, I think again, like I said, we are leaders. Look at, we are top universities. Look at even the University of Nairobi. Look at the private universities. Stratham, I think, is the leading business school in Africa. We need to market Kenya as a place you can come and study, but we need to streamline because you don't want. Because I get my friends that have been here for a while, and they are struggling with even getting their student visa. But I think Kenya is good.
Wow, for that. Lovely. Nemo is watching. Nemo, she likes my shirt. Even George likes it, and so I will be disclosing where it came from. Just in a moment. And I think it's important to just say this is courtesy of Spot On Apparels. You can just check out their Facebook page, Spot On Apparels. They have dressed me up, so thanks a lot for that, for those who are asking about where they can get this thing up. So George, I'm just going through some of the questions that I have seen. So what do you tell Antonio? He was interested in going to Canada. He needs to see you?
I can give him some guidelines on what to do. But I'm not an expert on Canadian immigration, but I know somebody.
You can guide him.
I know agents, good people that can help with that process. But Canada looks now very attractive to very many people because US became a bit tougher.
Absolutely.
So people, and they are neighbors. So but I think what happens in Canada, because they are provinces, so they have. The level of the hardship of getting a visa is dependent on the provinces you're going to. There are some provinces within Canada that need more people, depending on the economic activity. So you'll find it's a bit more, it's not a one kind of holistic approach. If you want to go to Quebec or some other, you'll find they have an extra layer of requirement. So it depends on that. But we can certainly guide them.
So definitely there's some basic questions that people send up here. Let me see this one. How does one choose an immigration consultant?
The same way you choose a doctor. It's up to you.
It's up to you.
It's really a personal choice.
That's a good one. Let me see another question here. What's your competition? I think you've addressed the element of competition, the challenges.
No, I don't think there's competition. It's everybody doing their thing. People tend to be scared of competition. Why do you want to be alone anyway? Let the market forces dictate. And people know, this is a very personalized service. Everybody has, like in the forest, there is space for everybody. There is space for the big companies. There's space for my friends that are outside their house. There's space for everybody.
Absolutely. So top skills, now that you're in business and it's a business show, what would you say are the top 3 or top 2 career skills that is needed for you to be a successful entrepreneur?
Well, number 1 is integrity.
Definitely.
If you lack integrity, it doesn't matter how talented you are. People will come to you because you are this big brand, but they know you are fraud.
Very true. Very true.
And like the industry we are in is about compliance. It's about document. I know people. I want to give you this example on site. Somebody walked into my office and gave me a story, a scenario. But it's a successive wrong advisory. But the net effect is the person is stateless in the street of Nairobi. they return their former passport.
Yeah.
They have not acquired Kenyan passport, and they need their former passport to acquire the Kenyan citizenship.
Oh my.
So they are stuck in the street of Nairobi because of the wrong advice given. So integrity is number one.
Very true.
Number two, focus.
Focus.
You must remain focused. Wow. There will be a lot of wind. So you must focus. If you have to readjust your sales, you just have to do that.
Yeah.
And I think number three, respect people. Respect your client. They are not money-making machines. Yeah. People don't come to you because they feel very wealthy. They are coming to you because they have a need. So that now if President Uhuru walks into my office to seek a service, I'm like, you, Mr. President, before even I open my mouth, put $1 million there. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. The person before you does not come with their titles. You have a service. If the service you're offering is 10,000, whether it's Uhuru, whether it's minor, charge them the same. Yeah. You know, don't look at people, and people know when you're trying to exploit them. Yeah. Because they want to do, you deliver. People call me and say, "Oh, do you help with this?" I say, "Yes, I do." They say, "How much?" I'm like, "No, I'm not selling a goat or a cow. I'm offering you a service." So you need to understand the spectrum of what I will do for you before we agree on the price. That's true. Yeah, so those are three. Yeah. Number one is integrity, focus, and then respect the people that you serve. All right. Shout out to Mike Monene, is watching from Josica Town. I don't know where that one is, but he will tell me where Josica is. So oh goodness, time is up. So I think people, where do they get you? That's another question people are asking. If I want to get George's I'm online. I'm online all the time. Online all the time. This is a business that, I mean, like 80% of your clients, you don't even get to meet them. They write emails to you from across the world. Yeah. And you know, you serve them because they already see your brand. Yeah. But I'm squatting in a small office around Madonna House on the second floor in Westlands. Madonna House is in Westlands? Yeah. Just up here? Yeah, just up here. Once in a while I'm there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a squatter at the moment, but the business is online a lot of the time. Oh yeah. Yeah, but it's the norm of the day now. It's the norm of the day. Yeah. Okay. So and the kind of business we are in is not the mass market. Okay. It's very personalized. When you giving personalized service, just like a handmade car, tends to be very pricey, but also very well done because it's not for mass production. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this question about, actually it's not a question, it's actually your parting shot. To anyone who's watching, thinking through this, I want to do this kind of thing or that, I want to fly out, I want to start a business, I don't know where. What would be your parting shot? I know that those are loaded things, but what would be your parting shot on this conversation? I think number one, just be clear. Yeah. On the legal regime of the country you want to go to, and by all means get quality advice from somebody that knows. It doesn't have to be George, but get proper advice. Yeah. Some of it may not be what you're expecting, but if it's good advice, take it, because failure to do that will be problematic. You don't want to be stuck in a foreign country. Yeah. And I can tell you, those who have traveled, immigration officers wherever in the world are tough guys. Yeah. I went to the US, the Kenyans won't smile a lot. They will tell you, welcome, where have you been? They're going to engage you. Yeah. In the US, they're like, stand there, put your fingers here, and watch this camera. Yeah, and then they're like, what are you coming here today? So make sure that you're very clear on the legal regime, so that you're not stuck and you start blaming other countries for harassing you. You're right. Yeah. You're right. Wow. Many thanks for that. But generally, I think the future of the industry is in our young people. Yeah. And I'm setting up an immigration academy because I realize we need to train our people. There are no schools. Yeah. So we need to do that, and I'm also on the verge of creating a network of immigration professionals. Yeah. You will be part of that, Maina. Definitely. In all the 54 countries in Africa. Wow. Yeah, and in the next 5 to 10 years, I want personally to go in all the 54 countries in Africa. Good. Because we need African solution to our immigration. Wow. Because if you look at the Agenda 2063, we're talking about one Africa. Yeah. But how can we be one Africa when if you have to travel in 10 African countries, you need 10 visas?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But we are seeing progresses. I have seen the AFTCA, whatever these agreements are coming.
Yeah, but the issue is
we love them.
The right of movement and establishment globally. That protocol was, I think, in 1980 something, and has only been signed by less than 10 countries. So we talk. We need to close the talking shop and do the actual working.
Wow. Thank you so much, George. And thanks a lot for our viewers and all those people who sent in your comments and questions, wherever you're watching us from. Tunashukuru sana. Thanks a lot for being part of this conversation. And I just wanted to, by the way, what has been your most satisfying moment in this business? I know you give the partition, but I just felt like that.
There are many, not one. Very many of them.
There are many. Choose one.
Yeah. I think one is when I was in government. I think my orientation is more towards public service. I am not really a business person par excellence. It's an issue of, just being out here. Yeah. But when I was in government, people come to your office. They have a very urgent situation. Yeah. And they need maybe a document, a passport. Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. And I was the head of the VIP passport. So I was serving the president and all these people. Yeah. But I had this instruction that was given to my team. Any Kenyan that find themselves here, whether they are lost or otherwise, that day, they will be a VIP in their country. Wow. So these people would come and they would ask, is this the passport office? I'm like, no, but come here. I don't know them. Yeah. You're not asking anything, but you resolve their problem. They get a passport, they have a medical situation, they have to rush for a scholarship. Yeah. There are very many kids that are losing on that because of now the queuing system, even in the passport system, and they do not know who to go to. Yeah. When I help those kind of people, and I actually don't know them, but they've been referred to by Maina or another person, and I speak to somebody who speaks to somebody, and we have the passport, and the person flies for medical. Those are my...
Thank you. Moment. Definitely. Yeah. Because it's definitely solving a problem that exists. Yes. Thank you so much once again. I just wanted to end this conversation with a thought. And this is purely to the leaders that I'm here seeing. First of all, I want to appreciate the fact that the business conversation is ongoing big time. We have seen conversations even by the political elite in this country who are now talking about matters. Buy Kenya, build Kenya. Lovely conversations. We are very proud of that. We have also seen elements of empowering the manufacturing sector, going the SME way. I've had the bottom-up conversations and all those kind of things. And we appreciate those kind of conversations. And here at BizTalk, we're saying good stuff. However, if you listen to every conversation here, even from George, who was here as well as a business person, there are always those challenges that are there facing businesses. And we really hope this is not just conversations for the sake of getting votes. We really hope you can get on the ground, listen to the business people, and implement those policies. And if you're still having the power to do that, show us practically what you're doing. And very soon we'll be hosting you here as well, so you can tell business people what you're about to do for them. So thank you so much to, just this direction we are taking that, and this is the conversation we need to have, because 80% of this economy is moved by SMEs. And we are very serious about ensuring that they have a good environment for doing business. Because, for example, why is it that when you're just starting a business, you can't even get a tax break or a tax holiday for you to just start? Why is the cost of business, as George has said, quite a little bit cumbersome here in this country, while in some of our East African countries is crazy? Those are the kind of conversations we need to hear from you, because as you say, the unemployed gap is quite big, and we're talking of them going to business, then enable them to do that. Thanks so much for tuning in right here on BizTalks. We appreciate your time. Keep working as usual. Bye-bye.
Thank you, man. I hope that